Hey, and welcome to the Season 1 finale of Thinking Man Games. I'm Gabe Gerwin,
I'm Tristan Edelman.
and we think about games so you will too. Now, like we said, this is going to be the last episode, I guess coming regularly for a while, but we're still going to have a couple little things planned in between seasons. But of course, on Tuesday, this would have been last week now, Grand Theft Auto 5 was released, and it's setting all sorts of records. Crazily enough, actually, it's, I think, predicted to beat Call of Duty now. A lot of people think that it's actually
Yeah.
going to outsell Call of Duty, which I didn't think was possible, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But I got the game. I didn't go to the opening or the midnight launch just because the line was absolutely crazy. There were about 300
Yeah.
people here for ours, and they had a barbecue and a DJ and all sorts of stuff. But I played a lot of it, and I really, really like it. Now, Tristan, I think you talked about this a little bit before, but like, how much experience do you have with the GTA series?
You want to know something? Yeah, I was gonna get us straight out before we got into the episode. I have never beaten a Grand Theft Auto game.
You've never beaten one, but have you played one?
Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Because I've never beaten one either. I got very close in GTA
Really?
4 and I gave
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've never owned one. Then how about that?
Okay. I've owned
We've established that I'm younger. So as when I was a little kid, I mean, I went over to a friend's house to play Grand Theft Auto, but my mom was kind of down on that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I was
You know
the
what I
same
mean?
way.
Like.
I had a friend who was a couple years older.
Yeah, so then I
he'd,
would go over. Exactly, I'd go over to his house and then play GTA. I played a significant portion of San Andreas 3, Vice City here and there, and I do own 1 and 2. I forgot to mention that. I have it on
Okay.
PC because they're free downloads on
Yeah.
the Rockstar site.
Yeah, I need to get those.
And I haven't beaten those either. But I know about GTA. I know about the big things, and I've played enough of it to understand what it is. I'm not totally out of the dark, in the dark.
No, I've actually never played San Andreas, honestly.
Really?
The one I got introduced to first was Vice City at my friend's house. It was kind of funny when we were little. To protect his identity, I won't mention his name. But when we were little, his parents said he couldn't have it either, so I don't know how he got a hold of it. And he didn't have a memory card for his PlayStation, so he'd leave his PlayStation on all the time, so he can only have one game, like, progressing at a time.
That's such a little kid thing to do, man. Like, just forsake any kind of normal thought just so you could keep your game going.
And basically, anytime his parents were in the room, he would just drive, so they didn't realize he was playing Grand Theft Auto. He wouldn't do anything else. But yeah, I played that first, and then I guess for me, the last little bit. How old would I have been? I guess I would have been 14 when GTA. Yeah, I would have been 14 when GTA 4 came out. So at that point, I just don't think I asked, but that was like the last game my parents wouldn't let me play that I might have wanted to. Pretty much any other M-rated game they'd let me play, but my dad would always say, not Grand Theft Auto. And then, like, I think the next year or something, I just asked for it, and they were like, all right, you're old enough. And I probably would have been able to, deal with it or whatever years before. And so I got Grand Theft Auto 4 that way. I played a lot of Vice City at my cousin's house, too, a significant portion of the game. And then 3 I've played a little bit on my phone, and do not buy that game on your phone. It's absolutely horrific to control that game on your phone. The car, there's this thing at the beginning where you have to like drive this car to a spot without crashing it, and it's like I stopped playing just because it was so tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, GTA 5, man, it says I'm about 30% through, but I have a hard time believing I'm even that close, since I guess there's still like 5 big heists left, and I would think that they'd be spread pretty evenly throughout it, but so far I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's getting really good now. When it first started off, I was a little concerned because the shooting, it takes a while to get used to Grand Theft Auto shooting, since it's not like other games. I saw this guy mention on Twitter that Rockstar kind of lives in a bubble where they improve stuff from their past games, but they don't take much inspiration from like other studios and whatever.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So there's like a very snappy feel still to the shooting, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it works really, really well because there's a lot of people you'll be shooting at once, and it really, really helps. But the character switching is really, really cool. I'm not crazy about the fact that you have to stock up everyone with their own supply of guns and stuff, but these like kind of cinematic openings where when you snap to another character and it goes into like a Google Earth mode and then goes back out and goes down, it's really, really effective.
It looks really cool too. I mean, it works well and it looks awesome.
Yeah, and it's not like the events are unscripted. Like, you can basically tell when you switch to a different character, it like kind of loads up the next scene that they're gonna be in when you switch to them. But I haven't like encountered any recurring ones. And
I haven't even played the game. Let me get that. I don't own the game. I haven't played it yet. I am really short on cash, so I haven't even gotten the game yet.
yeah, I actually traded another game towards it, and I don't usually do that, but it was the Bureau, which I just reviewed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but I'm also a hipster, so like I don't play mainstream games, and I don't play GTA. That was a joke. All right, let's move on.
I hope that's a joke.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So with the GTA release, there's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. I mean, no matter there never fails. It's GTA.
Yep.
Even when it's not even out, or really not necessarily irrelevant, but not necessarily relevant either. In between 4 and 5, there was still stuff like GTA is killing your kids' brain cells and making them murderers and all that stuff.
And the
but especially
Sandy
now,
Hook
it's
thing
going
with
on.
Aaron Burnett.
Well, yeah. Every time there's a shooting or something terrible, they bring it up once again. Specifically, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, and it always seems to be Grand Theft Auto.
And I think it goes with it almost without saying that we pretty much think that's BS. I would say.
Yeah, and I've tried to look at other people's like opinions on why they think it's not the case. But Adam Sessler had I think the best point. He said they say violent video games, it's never been linked to violent behavior. It might be linked to more aggressive or irritable behavior, but that's not necessarily linked to just the video games, just violent video games either. I never get more angry than after I've failed a Mario level a million times in a row. I get more angry and mad than with the most family-friendly game in the world than any time I play Grand Theft Auto. Frankly, I'm pretty chill after I'm done playing Grand Theft Auto because it's good for fuming. I usually end my sessions just going on a rampage, but it's I think that's good for it. Like I'm trying at the beginning of this footage, you'll see, like you would have already seen. The first thing you'll watch in this video is I shot a hooker in the head. We had just finished a transaction, so to speak, and I do that because I think it's hilarious. But like obviously something like that taken out of the grand scheme of things can get people riled up about GTA. And I mentioned this in a podcast I do for tech heads also, but they don't seem to understand. It's not like same thing with like Jack Thompson talking about Bully. Yes, you can like go around murdering people, and you can murder police officers, and you can go to strip clubs, and you can kill hookers, but the game never tells you have to go kill a hooker or something like that. It's just like that's a hooker. If you walk up to her and shoot her in the head, she'll die. It's that sort of thing.
I think there's also an important distinction. I like taking the gray area of big topics. You know what I mean? I don't like to be one-sided. Even if I agree with one side more, if someone's explicitly just like really aggressive about it, I feel less inclined to want to agree with them. But with the causing the violence in people, I think there's an important distinction between like causing violence and then maybe not helping people that are already predisposed, like you said, from other things in their life, making them violent already. I'm not saying that someone might be violent, they play a game, and then they kill someone, but I'm just saying that it's not necessarily going to help either.
Right, but a lot of things aren't going to help. Cereal's not going to help.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. That's true.
The thing I think that is just infuriating is the NRA after Sandy Hook, and I was writing a little piece on this for my blog. I think... No, it's not up yet. It'll be up soon. Basically, they blamed what they called a corrupt shadow industry, which is video games, for causing these shootings. And what they might not know is, one, video games are the most lucrative entertainment medium on the planet.
Corrupt shadow industry. That's oh my
The
God.
other thing that he mentioned is he pulled up a game called Kindergarten Killers and tried to pass it off as some mainstream game that a big company made that's totally corrupting our kids.
Is it just like a flash game or something?
Basically, yeah. It was like, it's like 10 years old, and it was obviously made by some fat dude in his basement for kicks, and it's up on like 4chan or something. Like there's no there's no connection between the two, and I think it just shows the disconnect between like, yeah, maybe this person who went on a murderous rampage liked Call of Duty or GTA, and maybe this person does. The reason for that is because everyone likes those.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. No, that's a great point.
Those games sold 13 million copies in a day.
Yeah. some people got to be playing them. The cereal thing you made makes sense. It's like everyone eats cereal. Oh, this guy that killed someone ate some cereal that morning. Oh,
Yeah.
it must be the cereal that caused it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really stupid example, but
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But going back to like GTA just as a game and not as a social talking point, it's funny. Like I talked about the whole bubble thing, and even before I saw that tweet, I was thinking about it. There are certain aspects of Rockstar games that, for some reason, just they can't seem to fix, even though I really, really like them. One is, and they fixed this to a degree, the checkpointing system in GTA and just the autosaves in general are still way too spread out, and it can be frustrating.
Even in 5?
Yes. It's not as bad as 4, but it's not
Great either.
It's not ideal. And then there's still just these really boring, like, menial task missions you have to do. There's one where to keep your cover, you have to go into this crane and lift up these containers and move them, and it takes, like, 10 tries to get it right, and then you have to, like, just walk around and deal with, like, a union rep and all this sort of stuff. There's one where you're in a helicopter and you have to pick a submarine out of the water with your hook, but I think it's impossible. I could not do it, and luckily, the game, after you mess something up a couple times in a row, will let you skip at the expense of missing the cutscene. Which is, I mean, I don't think there was even a cutscene for this one, but I could not do it. I tried it like 10 times. Some of it's going to be on the recording, actually, and every time I'd either completely miss the submarine and crash the helicopter, or one time, I swear, I hit the hook perfectly on the top, and it still didn't pick it up, and I crashed anyway. But those seem to be going down as you kind of go on, and right after that there was like a huge gunfight. But definitely the best part of the game so far has been when you're doing missions with the two other main characters and you're switching kind of on the fly. There's one where that I just did where you're trying to take out like this armored car. And you switch between Michael and Franklin, who are on the ground shooting at it, and then you get kind of overrun with reinforcements, and the camera jumps up to Trevor, who's on a building across the street with a sniper rifle, and you're taking them out. Then it goes back down, and it really kind of helps the flow of the game. Like before, in GTA 4 even, the map wasn't nearly as big, but it takes a while, and I don't really know why Rockstar's so opposed to fast travel, because it works so well in other open world games, but in this they kind of get around that by having the characters relatively well spaced out throughout the map, especially once Trevor moves up to the main city, which it happens pretty soon after you start playing as him. So like if there's a mission, and some of the missions you can only play as one character, but if there's a mission that anyone can start, it's best just to switch to the character who's going to be closest to that. But yeah, so far I'm really, really liking it, and Danny Tamborelli's in it, for any Nickelodeon fans.
I never knew who he was.
You didn't? You were too young. Did you watch
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks?
No.
You didn't? You've never
I mean,
seen
I've seen Mighty Ducks, like, as a thing on TV or whatever, but...
Or Pete and Pete.
Nope.
All That. The original All That.
Well, I mean, I know of all that.
Oh, man.
Anyways, I have this thought that's in my head, and then I think of it, and then I'm like, doesn't matter. But do you think people buy GTA... I mean, we know it's a good game, right?
Yep.
Like, it's made well, there's flaws, yes, but it is overall designed very well.
Yeah.
But do you think more people buy it because they think of that, or just because it's like, oh, I get to kill hookers?
No, I don't really think so. I think a lot of people are past that at this point, and they just realize that the games are really, really well made.
Maybe with, like, 3, I would say maybe that was more of a motivating factor.
Exactly, since that was
buy it.
that was... I'm willing to say that was the most revolutionary video game of my lifetime that's come out.
Open world, basically. Yeah.
Well, it switched from like this top-down sprite kind of look to complete, open world.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a shitty open world, but it's still an open world.
Yeah.
That or like Mario 64, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really think so. I just wish that we'd be willing to criticize things that we love, because I really, really like this game, but, and I wouldn't, like, really make this a big talking point in my review, but Carolyn Pettit at GameSpot, basically her only complaint was she felt that it was misogynistic.
Yeah.
And I can see where she's coming from.
That's a valid claim,
but
definitely.
of course, everyone, like, people claim she should be fired and all this sort of stuff. It's like... And someone said, 10 out of 10, no excuses. And I'm thinking if you wanted to get a 10 out of 10 and you don't you won't accept anything less, why are you watching it? Just tell yourself that they gave it a 10 out of 10 and be happy.
What are your priorities, even?
Man, it's like, why do you care whether if you want to get it, and decide for yourself. And there's...
See, but it's not that simple. It should be, but, like, it's the internet. I mean, I hate that excuse, it's the internet. Yeah, that doesn't make an excuse for people to be terrible.
My hope is just that if we can berate them long enough, they'll realize, I guess.
Yeah, but there'll always be idiots to fill their place, and it's a never-ending battle. You can't expect intelligence from a majority of people in real life, let alone, you know, the internet. And actually, speaking of intelligence of people, I don't think a lot of people realize Grand Theft Auto is also effectively satire.
Yeah.
Of
yeah, and that's
American dream, American lifestyle, especially this game because it takes place in, you know, GTA's version of Los Angeles,
Terminator for a second.
Beverly Hills. So I mean, that is such a cool way to do it. You know, give it the ruse of like kind of this shallow kill people game, which it definitely is, but kind of inject a layer of intelligence into it, even if it has a misogynistic side to it, I guess.
And people I think that if they take like that little thing out of context, they might think that it's some dude bro sort of game where they hate women. But the thing is, they take shots at everyone. Group imaginable, and they don't pull their punches.
White trash is
a huge one. Juggalos, to an extent, are in this, and God, I'm happy they make fun of them. Right-wing extremists, the radio station, the tagline is confirming your prejudices, which is hilarious. But yeah, I think Carolyn's point was basically, at least so far for me, there aren't any non-annoying female characters in this game, and it's a little bit weird to have it that way. Like, Michael's wife is really annoying, his daughter's really annoying. The woman who, I guess it's kind of his sort of friend of Trevor, who his fiance is like kind of a bitch, even though I haven't met her yet in the game, but the way they talk about her. And I wish that there was a little more balance. But again, like, the fact that Carolyn mentioned that just gets so much hate. I think maybe it's not a bad thing, though, because it still gets people talking about it.
Exactly. But didn't Rockstar say
she should be fired?
Well, yeah. Didn't someone from Rockstar say something like, we won't ever have a female protagonist, or something like that?
They tried to, like, justify it. I'm not sure exactly how...
Yeah, I'm talking out of my ass, which is not a good thing to do, but I'm pretty sure I read something like that. I could be totally wrong on that.
I saw something about it. I don't know if they worded it that way, but I did see something where they were talking about like why they don't. And it is kind of weird. I mean, I guess it's just kind of to maybe cater to the demographic that likes GTA games, which is by and large still males.
Yeah. Well, you said it's not a dude bro thing, but that's what the beauty of GTA, I think. Like I said, it has that intelligent layer. People will appreciate the game design, see it as a great game.
But you can also just play it as a dick.
And then I mean, I can give you tons of anecdotal evidence of people coming up to me like, "Have you played GTA yet? You can do all this stuff." And it's like, yeah, I know, I get it, and like that's their selling point, and that's great. They can like whatever they want, but that's why it does so well, because it appeals to so many people.
Yeah.
Even though it makes fun of all those people.
And my thing is kind of, since most of the characters are terrible people in this game, I kind of, in most of the games I play, instead of making like moral decisions based on what I think is right or wrong, I kind of make my decisions based on like, what would they do in this situation?
Huh.
I did that.
In that game that makes sense, but like, what about like in a Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic or something where there is no kind of predisposed?
That's a little bit different. I mean, like when you have like an RPG, but like Last of Us, for example, a lot of people said they still didn't want to kill the doctors, and they were like holding back, and they were like, no, but I want to save the world. I was thinking, no, but Joel doesn't want to do that. He wants to go in and, Did I just spoil the game for you? You've played it, right?
I have not. Crap. Guess what, though? I had the headphones out of my ear.
Oh my god, that's great.
I'm so behind. Listen, let me just put down this plan real quick. I'm going to make some money, all right, and just buy like the big games from this year and just sit down and play through them all, because I haven't played anything from this year, literally.
You have no excuses now on Amazon until the 25th for PC. BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite are all $20 together.
I already have 1, 2 though, so
But Infinite is $20.
Yeah, I don't even have $20 to my name. That's not true.
I need a
I need
dollar,
to though.
dollar,
I'll turn around and
dollar,
buy it.
We're gonna get flagged for that now because I copyright.
Oh God. Don't-
But yeah, I think this is a really good game. I'm not sure I'm positive right now it's not my game of the year. I think Bioshock still
Infinite,
holds that. Yeah. Last of Us is up there too, and then I think Watch Dogs still has a chance. Because that game, everything I've seen of it, it just looks incredible.
This is such a weird time because you got that like next gen stuff, and then like when I hear Game of the Year, I'm not even thinking of next gen, but that's technically this year that can come out and just beat out all these other games that have come this year.
And their scores are inflated. Like a lot during next gen. If you look at like games like even Call of Duty, but trying to think of another good example, like Uncharted to an extent, and some of those other games. Gears of War is a good example. The scores keep going down as the generation goes on, even if it's a better game. It's just kind of how it works.
Because people are so impressed at the onset, and they don't feel.
And it goes down a little bit. So I expect that to happen, and that might affect the game of the year. But we're out of time. Our apologies to Matt Damon and Lindsey Buckingham. But this is going to be the last episode of this season, and we'll see you guys later. Stay tuned.
See you later.